The slop never stops. So I'll just address the elephant in the room. You've probably already noticed, but unfortunately, this video is in 30 FPS. You see, back in 2021, when I bought this cheap capture card, it did the job at the time. It does 720p 60 FPS and 1080p 30 FPS. And when I initially did some of the test recordings for this slop yap session, it looked horrendous. I don't know why I ever thought this quality was okay or whatever. Nowadays, my standards for quality are a bit higher. Yes, even in a slop video. I'll probably get an Elgato HD 60 sometime, but not now. So yeah, we're talking about Mario Kart World, the Switch 2 launch title that continues to be controversial for its pricing and many other features. In this video, I'm going to just talk about my thoughts about it. But yeah, I'm going to just begin by talking about the open world. And in concept, these are really cool. You take the curiosity spawned from previous entries and you make it a core concept. Like in Mario Kart 64, it was really cool to be able to drive onto Peach's castle and kind of just mess around. But the execution just kind of leaves a lot of room for improvement. The world is pretty empty feeling, and there's really not a whole lot to do within it. Aside from the P-switch missions, finding the hidden question block panels, and finding the Peach medallions. The P-switch missions are pretty forgettable overall. Some will have you go through rings, kind of like other games I've heard of, but I can't quite put my finger on. Some will have you collecting blue coins. Some will have you using tricks to do a thing. They're pretty standard and par for the course. All they unlock is a sticker for your cart. The hidden question block panels are kinda fun to look for, although most of the time I just end up going in circles trying to look for each one. Most courses have 5 of them, but then there are others like Crown City that have 10 of them. Once again, all you unlock is a sticker. The Peach medallions are kinda just randomly scattered around the worlds, and I don't really feel much of a sense of urgency to look for them, but if I see one, I'll try to get it, I guess. Once again, all you get is a sticker, so you don't get any meaningful unlockable content. It doesn't really give you much reason to look for them, besides bragging rights. All in all, it's super disappointing to see such an empty world from a Mario game of all things. When people think of Mario, they think of the colorful, populated world of wacky, whimsical, and jovial characters, and things to do within that world. But Mario Kart World seriously fails to convey this. It took an update 3 months after launch to include a counter on the map for each collectible, so I think that should tell you how much of an afterthought they really were. Moving on to the Grand Prix, it's Mario Kart. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. My only issue here is how each course is connected to each other. You can't just do a normal 3-lap race like in previous games. Some will have 6 or 8 laps or something like that. And in tracks like Baby Park that made sense, but for some of these it's most of the time you're just going from location to location within those laps. The first track will be a normal 3-lap race, but then for the rest of the cup, you're just going to be going through those boring straight line intermission courses where eventually you'll get to race 1 lap through the course. In fact, now that I think about it, a lot of the returning courses were hard for me to recognize until I noticed some of the landmarks, which I'm still not sure how to feel about, because in previous Mario Kart games, the tracks left an impression and were super recognizable. But with Mario Kart World's implementation of them, I kind of just feel like they exist. The only track that I would say was truly memorable and used everything to its fullest potential was DK Spaceport. I mean, you have several opportunities to, use the parkour system. There are several different paths you can take. It's overall just a really well-designed track that you just don't feel with a whole lot of the other tracks in the game. But that's really all I have to say about the Grand Prix. Now, Knockout Tour, I'm going to be singing a different tune here. I think it is hands down the best part of the game. And I feel like it breathes new life into Mario Kart and should have been the true main focus in my opinion. So with each cup, you'll race through 6 laps in a Battle Royale style race, with each lap having a certain place you need to be in order to qualify for the next lap. This is how you innovate the Mario Kart formula for the modern day. Battle Royale style games are still relatively popular. People still play Fortnite and Apex Legends. And if Tetris and F-Zero can do it, why not Mario Kart? Also, I feel like the level of challenge in Knockout Tour, even on 50cc, is just a welcome change. In fact, I'm actually gonna praise the Grand Prix a little bit in this section. I think that the focus on a heavier difficulty is a good thing, because at some points Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was just way too easy. So it's a welcome change. I'm glad I'm not just breezing through every single one. And, every other mode is pretty much the same. Time trials, custom versus races, all that stuff. Battle mode does the thing that Mario Kart 8 did at launch, where its battle mode was ass, and just reused the race courses instead of having specifically designated battle courses. Like, all they do is, have one section and they put up some barriers, and then they just kind of called it a day. It's a shame that they learned from their mistake with 8 Deluxe, and then proceeded to make the same mistake. Mario Kart World is still a decent enough game, but it is not worth the asking price. But let's be honest, we all knew that was the case. Nintendo is only charging $80 for this, because they know 3 things about their consumers. Number 1, they will buy it no matter what, obviously. Number 2, it's Mario Kart. It's one of those games you are required to buy for a Nintendo console. And number 3, if they give people a limited edition bundle where it's technically $50, the pay piggies will eat that up. As much as I do think this game is enjoyable, it is ultimately a low point for Mario Kart. It is seriously lacking in content, characters, and just stuff to do. It feels like they kind of just took the single-player experience out like Old Yeller, and it feels like they focused way too much on the online experience, which there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I've always thought of Mario Kart as a primarily single-player first experience. I mean, I guess it's cool that you can play as the cow, but, where's Funky Kong? Where's some of the deep cuts, It does not live up to the standards set up by Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart should not be a 7 out of 10 at best. It should not be beaten out by Sonic the Hedgehog. Although, I can't really complain too much about that. If you're going to buy a Switch 2, get Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's way better and has more soul than this pathetic sludge. So, yeah, this is the end of the Yap session, and I will see you piggies eating up my slop in another video. Yeah.